Noon. This is Veterans Talk. It ain't nothing but a thing, but it's a thing we want you tuned into every Saturday. We are here. We are here today doing the same thing we've been trying to do ever since we started the show. Making sense out of a sensitive situation called the plight of veterans in the USA and the USA with the plight of veterans, with my partner, co-host, and brother in Christ, and my brother in crime, because we do a lot of stuff.
Yeah. We have to do what we have to do.
We have to do a lot of stuff. So, bro, how you doing today?
I'm good.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's a good day. It's a good day. Before I get into a whole lot of stuff, I want to let people know we got more caps.
Yeah.
Now, we got 2 caps now. We got the original cap, which is one that's worn by Sons of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
But now we got a limited edition cap. It's the Sons of Atlanta cap, but I support this.
Yes.
Cap. It shows that you don't even have to be a veteran to wear this cap. You can be a supporter, because that's what the cap is saying. I support this, and it's a call to unity. You are wearing the cap that calls our community to unity.
Mm-hmm.
The 9 cities where all of these young men is coming from, we're trying to bring them together for their own betterment, because we believe, first of all, that the sacrifice of these young men, the sacrifice they made, was also a sacrifice to the community, a sacrifice to their family. And they should get the benefit of that entire service. I'm not just talking about the monetary benefits, the health benefits, but the historical benefits of contribution to this country, Tony.
You're right. We talk about all the things that we've done, but the fact that not just that, we are a part of history.
Yeah.
I mean, major history in this country. The fact that we are veterans of a major war that this country fought, and now we're here publicizing the fact that we survived this, but also that there are other veterans that survived this, and those that survived didn't totally survive. They came home with health challenges, with mental challenges, with physical challenges. But just because they come home with it doesn't mean we're not going to support them. We're there to support them, and hopefully they will support us and support this. And not just that, they're part of a memorial that commemorates their service. And all of the guys that they fought and lost lives or had major injuries, but here we are building a memorial just to acknowledge them. And that's so important. The thing about our lovely city, and I love Atlanta. It's my hometown. I love the town.
Yes.
I'm part of the, as they say, the ATL.
Yeah.
But we want the citizens of Atlanta to recognize the fact that we are a group of veterans that served in a major war that are here to commemorate those that served in that major war. Both living now and those who paid the ultimate price.
And Tony, when you say that, I want to add that we are bringing to the information and the benefits that these young people earn to the table like never before. Nobody in our community has brought information about the benefits and how to get the benefits other than I give Herman them a lot of credit. Helping veterans down in Riverdale. They got Veterans Today on TV, but they're not a weekly show. They're an occasional show because it costs. It costs.
Yes.
But we have been doing this for years. I mean, we moved from Facebook Live to, we run our own stuff for a minute. Right. But now we've been in the studio for almost 2 years.
Yep.
Almost 2 years. And while we're in the studio, to make sure that these communities understand the veteran benefit, the veteran sacrifice, the value of their veterans in the community. These are major dollars.
Yeah.
Now, major dollars. We're not talking about in this toxic politics time. The Biden administration has signed the PAC Act into law, and the first recognizing the toxic exposures that we incur in military service, right? Mm-hmm. When we are in service. Right now, because of this administration, he has caused DOD, Department of Defense, to acknowledge and recognize that over 200 military bases in this country are toxic. And they're causing major health issues with those that serve. We have too many young people going into the military. We got them going in there every year, not understanding fully what the conditions they're serving under and what those conditions might cause them later on in life. We're doing that, Tony, and doing it with the kind of success that we're able to help those veterans file claims and their surviving spouses, because what this law set into place, billions of dollars in new benefits to people that have never had this option before. And that's why we want to encourage people that file claims because they were sick and they thought it might be service connected and was denied to revisit those claims. Because now all you got to do is go online and look at the PAC Act and all the locations that the PAC Act covers and all of the toxics. What you know? See, we get hooked up on the Camp Lejeune because they done set this big tank of money up there and they're gonna get it, you know. And the contaminated water, but that's a part of the PAC Act now. See, what Biden is combined that with the Agent Orange stuff, but he went further than those two contaminants. He went to the radiation, the burn pits, all of these different hazardous duties that we have served in are now being recognized, so that when your loved one come out of military service young and get sick with a cancer, and you say, ain't nobody in our family died that young with no cancer. And they was veterans, revisited. Because now, even posthumously, your family can get those benefits if they had a minor children, right? Or a wife when they was demised. We need to make sure that people understand these benefits are not in the news the way they need to be in the news. And, you know, they're online, right? Now, you know that's a problem for our community. They're just online. You ain't going to the VA, so you ain't gonna be able to walk in there and get the pamphlet to see. Oh, they didn't expand the PAC Act. What is the PAC Act? What we come here every often as we can and we talk about it and bring this information to the community. We need the community to respond in kind, because see, these are benefits that your loved ones earn. And the politics of the day, not only are these benefits are being threatened, Social Security and other benefits are being threatened by politics. Those Republicans that want to, you know, be in the Senate or be in the Congress, they already talking about what they gonna do when they get there. You got to vote in November.
Yep.
You now, I mean, if you don't care about the benefits, you don't care about this stuff, then, you know, just go with your feelings. But what we're trying to show veterans and veteran families that these are things that came about as our military service. I am proud of my service, Tony. Even though it took me 14 calendar years to get benefits, even though I was wounded in war. Wounded. The record is there. But we had the system at that time so contaminated with racism. We're coming out of segregation that time.
Yep.
You know, man, you went in, when we went in, it wasn't no, you know what I'm talking about. It wasn't a nice place. And some people didn't think it was safe to do that. Because we had people going into the Marines and the Navy and the Air Force, you know, not like they were going into the Army. And, you know, they wasn't welcome. And they found a way to kill them.
Yep.
You know, found a way to kill them because of racism. So we got to the point that we're going to recognize that as a casualty of war. Because they had not been in the military about to serve in the war, they wouldn't have had that fatality.
Yeah.
And we're gonna make sense out of this sensitive situation, Tony. But our community, see, because these benefits was meant for the veteran, his family, and the community. And if we get those benefits that we earn, it's gonna better the veteran, his family, and the community. We're gonna be better off for them.
Yep.
But if we don't know about them and we ain't trying to get them and ain't nobody trying to get them, we got to stop listening to the toxic politics and see what they talking about when they start talking about veteran benefits. It's a huge pot of money meant for households of sick veterans and veterans that have. Listen, go read your oath. You know what you know what your oath said. You pledged to defend this country with your life against all enemies, domestic or foreign. You did your service. Unfortunately, your service was in places where you was exposed to toxics, stuff that made you sick. You know, Tony, more veterans have died from exposure to Agent Orange than what was killed in the war itself.
Yeah. Yes.
More than 58,000. Over 100,000, Tony.
Yeah.
You know, so we got to stop being naive. You know, we wanted a part of this country, and we have got there. We are here now. But you see all these forces that's trying to turn us around. Some of them misleading us with bad information. You know, so we so caught up in the toxic politics, we ain't looking at the benefits that's already approved for us.
Yeah.
Just like the Fulton County Veteran Service Program. Ain't nobody knowing about it. Ain't nobody caring about it because they so caught, they watching this stuff, the distractions.
Yes.
They caught up on the distractions.
Yeah.
And it's a job trying to get people off of the bling, you know, or the glare. You know, they throw some stuff out there and you get caught up on watching that, and over there they making some more moves. It's a decoy. And we got to stop allowing this stuff to happen to our benefits, Tony. Because what I'm saying, we are shortchanging not only ourselves, but our families and our communities. We shortchanging them. I can think about how proud my sisters were of me. And I just lost one of my sisters, my third sister. Bulldog, Washington High. Was looking forward to this memorial. You know, we talked about her being there. And I talked with her daughter this morning. She said, Uncle Elson, we're going to be there. You know, we're going to be there because we're going to represent what Mama represented. She always supported this.
Yeah.
And we just got to understand, we have given too much, Tony. And we have accomplished too much to be turned around.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
When you said that, the spiritual that they used during the segregation ain't gonna let nobody turn me around.
Yeah.
And we are a example of that now. We ain't gonna let nobody turn us around from what we have earned
and what we are doing to make sure that our community
Yes.
And to get them up. You know, get knocking. Listen, we've knocked on doors of the politicians now. We got that rolling. Tony, I went out. Me and Derek. Dwayne. Excuse me, Dwayne. Dwayne went out in the community to the College Park health fair that was put on by the fire department. Now we got out there to the thing, man. It was about maybe 30 farmers and 10 citizens. You know, because they didn't know about it. But the good part about it was we got a chance to interact with all of these farmers, and a lot of them, the ones that wasn't veterans, new veterans, and their family, and they said, oh man, we didn't even know about this project. Yeah, we support this. Yeah, we want you to come back and talk about the benefits. If y'all got time, That's what the chief. Now the chief, now you know he looked like me too. You know, you didn't have none of that stuff when we were growing up.
Right.
But he looked like me. He said, "Listen, man, I need y'all to come back out here. I want to arrange it where you just talk to my staff, my department. So I got a lot of veterans here, and they need to hear what you saying. They need this information. You know. So and then we met a College Park city council person that we was able to bring into our corner. So she's looking forward to working with the project. It's a call to unity, Tony, that's working.
Yeah.
It's working, brother.
Yeah. We just have to be strong and hang in there. Knowing that there are veterans out there that aren't getting the benefits that they deserve, and here's an opportunity.
Yeah.
And you know, you mentioned College Park and East Point. Atlanta, Hayfield, Forest Park, all of those surrounding communities have firemen that are probably veterans, you know, and so we're learning slowly how to tap into that part of the community that we haven't reached yet.
Yeah, and go ahead, Tony.
And they showed you how interested in how they want to be not just a part of the memorial, but a part of all the benefits that you're talking about.
Listen, we're going to make sure we represent those that paid the ultimate price, Tony. Listen, they came home with a flag wrapped around their casket. Then their mama probably the family got $10,000 and that was over.
Yeah, that was the end of it.
That was the end of it. When some of them should have been getting benefits for the rest of their lives, man. Their mama should have been getting them benefits. You know, but they done sacrificed their son, they done sacrificed their child, and being cheated out of the benefits that his service earned him.
Yes.
All because of a lack of information, Tony. You know, I read somewhere in the word it says the people perish.
The lack of knowledge.
For the lack of knowledge.
Yeah, the lack of knowledge.
And we got to make sure that we make sure not only that we giving the knowledge to our people, but showing them the way. How to make this knowledge work. Because it will. We got to stop being so caught up in this toxic politics that we overlook the benefits, man. Overlook the real stuff. They talking about inflation going to choose it. Listen, let me tell you something. In this country, only business have stuff to sell, not the government. The government don't sell that. So they can't create no inflation. Businesses create inflation. Now, what is inflation? It's when your boss get paid want more for his goods and services than he paying you. Yes. You know, pure and simple. That's what it is. Biden administration has found a way to kind of represent a whole lot of us. All of us, really. In ways that we needed it. Now, before the Biden administration, this country has been taken over by the internet. Taken over by the internet. All your information, listen, you can't get a job nowadays where they give you a paper check.
No.
See, that's the internet. It's online stuff. We was offline, Tony. 90% of our community is offline.
Yes.
So they're not getting the knowledge of these benefits. When we online, we on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter with drama. It ain't got nothing to do. It ain't got nothing to do with accessing the government benefits that they got already set up out there for us to go in business, right?
Yeah.
You know, for us as veterans to buy a house with no money down, Tony. And I'm gonna tell you what, that VA home loan has pulled me out of the dark financial spot that I had got in after I was medically retired. I fell into a financial struggling spot, struggling. You know, because of my disability, and I wasn't getting the full benefits of my, you know, what I should have been getting. I'm trying to work disabled. You know, so I'm not able to, to go up the ladder in my professional field. I use my benefits to go to college, so I got degrees. So I should have been able to excel in my job.
Right.
Oh no, man! They took that, and they have ways to take our benefits, and we don't understand that we can get them back.
Yeah. That's the part. That there is the challenge. Is once they're taken, most veterans believe they're gone for good, not knowing that they have that option.
Yeah, that you got an appeal option.
Yeah.
And you can get your stuff back, and that's what we do. That's what we're talking about. We might be kind of comical sometimes, and kind of a little aggressive sometimes, but we're giving out information. And not only are we giving out information, we're showing people how to lobby their government for whatever project you want. Is it something for the whole community? Then why are you out trying to raise funds for that project, that part of the project that's for the whole community, when your government can give you the funds?
Yes.
It's called your tax dollars coming back to the community to do stuff with. That's what these benefits are. We need to make people understand, when you buy a house in the community, it better the community.
Yeah. You're investing in the community.
You're investing in the community, because you're going to all the community stores to buy your goods and services, right, in the community. We got to stop being simple, getting caught up on just watching the drama on the news. Online, in Instagram, with beefs. We done got it to be a beef place. Now you hear at the high school just had something started online. Now they got guns in the school. Now when they gonna stop, Tony?
Yeah.
When they gonna stop? Listen, it's some things that we got to keep our focus on, and I'm gonna tell you the main thing right now is who we're voting for. I wish Robert E. Love was with us, man.
Really, yes. He was so impactful in getting the citizens out and voting in this community. He was almost like a one-man show, because he never stepped back from his belief about the power of the vote and the necessity of the citizens to vote, and the necessity of the citizens to evaluate those people that we are voting for. He never specifically spoke to a particular party. His idea was the fact: educate yourself on the people who are running for office and get out and vote for them.
Yeah. So he was, to my mind, like a lot of veterans, and he was a veteran. Like a lot of veterans, we look at the system and we put parties, we put principles over party.
Yeah.
We know that this country is for everybody. It's a multi-racial democracy. And everybody got representation, or should have representation. But if we're not vetting the people, we don't know the people we're voting for. You're voting for some crooks. And then if you vote for one crook, you get them in office, then they'll make it where any crook that they want to come in office can go. Right now, we got a person that's indicted, convicted, and one major party want to put him in the White House.
Yes, put him back in the White House after knowing what he did when he was in the White House.
So that means that they're not, and some of us not betting that.
No,
we're not looking at what kind of record this man had when he was in the White House. What did he actually do that benefited you?
Yeah. What did he do that benefited the veterans?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes. What did he do to benefit?
Yes.
He privatized major operations of federal government, including in the VA. Yeah. And that privatizing meant that the functions of some parts of government was turned over to businesses, right? In other words, they contracted the service out to these businesses. It's still up under the VA paying for it. So when that $307 billion of check is cut for the VA operation, it's going, a lot of it going to private businesses, bruh. Thanks to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks to him.
Yeah.
Look at what he did for you. That's all I'm asking folks to do.
Right, yes.
You know, look at what he did for you. COVID was under his administration. He was saying, drink some bleach.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. He wanted me to drink some bleach. I mean, think that was a killer move then. He wants you to drink some bleach. The bleach gonna kill you, bro. It's not gonna do away with COVID. Over 1 million Americans died.
Yes.
Because of his dilly-dallying with medicine now. You know, him and his crew dilly-dallying with medicine rather than dependent on the medical community. They had somebody set up to do that.
Yes.
Did they support him? No, they demonized him. You know, you take that stuff and something gonna happen to you. They trying to kill you. It didn't do this, it didn't do that. You know, they had a bunch of folks so scared they wouldn't even take it, and they died.
Yep.
They died. This is Veterans Talk.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing but a thing, but it's a thing that we're gonna get into so hard that we want you to get into it. We want you here with us. We want you to become a part of the conversation. You know, we want you to understand that we need a conversation about racism and the disunity in our community. And we got to be able to look at this. We are better together. And if we look at the facts and the development of this country, everybody here done contributed something to get us to where we at now. And I'm gonna tell you something, Tony, it's enough for everybody. It's enough right now, Tony, for every American to be generating at least $65,000 a year. That will make them a livable, you know,
a livable wage.
And a livable wage.
Yes.
Every American, and know what, Tony, the billionaires can let them have that, and it wouldn't hurt them at all.
No.
Because they got more than they'll ever live to spend. But know what, Tony, I'm gonna say this. They done got so rich, it's not just the riches they want power over the people. They're not just the money that they want. They got the money, and know what they do. They use it to corrupt politicians. They buy them.
Yep.
I mean, look at Clarence Thomas. I want y'all to look at what they're talking about, bro.
Yes.
He's setting up there. His oath, right? Is he not should be biased or bought? Biased or bought? Now they done pointed out some of them folks up there bought and biased.
Yes. Yep.
And he's one of them. You cannot be fair and ruling on the law if you got a bias.
Yes.
Their oath of office is that they would not be operated by a bias. They would not be operated by money. But if Tony, if you had somebody paying for your mama house and you know you gonna have some bias toward that person.
Yes, exactly.
You can't help but have some bias toward that person. You gotta show some appreciation. That's a natural human response, and that's what we supposed to keep out of the government, right? We're supposed to keep out of the code, but they have infiltrated and took over the government in several ways. And we need to do what Dr. King say. We can overcome. How do we overcome? Just stop participating with it. Stop going along with it. Stop cooperating with it. You know, that's what, listen, when they didn't want us to ride on the front of the bus, they kicked the sister off the bus. What happened to the bus company when Dr. King said, don't nobody ride the bus? They went out of business. They can't stay in business without us.
That's a perfect example of the power of the people. You know, once the people, particularly, you know, those citizens in Montgomery who decided, we aren't going to participate in your bus company.
Yeah.
And they got support from the community.
Yeah, and they walked to work.
Yeah, they walked to work, or the community kicked up and said, we're going to take you to work.
Co-ride.
Yes.
Shit, ride sharing.
Yes.
You know, listen, bro, we can overcome if we start talking with each other. We start letting these billionaires manipulate us, and they got us fighting in the community.
Yep.
You know, they got us fighting over the crumbs off the master table. Let me hear that somewhere.
Yeah.
They got us. I mean, we need to look at what Dr. King gave us. Look at what Malcolm gave us. Du Bois. We had a lot of folks, man, come up. Booker T. Washington teaching us stuff that we needed to know that done help us got to where we are today. And the Hispanics are the same way. Everybody done contributed enough to make sure that this country is doing its purpose. And right now it's unbelievable that we got a spirit so strong. Now, it ain't gonna prevail, but it's so strong it occupies the internet.
Yeah.
It occupies the news, kind of dominate the news, right? Every day you got some BS about Trump and his antics that keep you from seeing other news. You know, other things are happening, but his stuff done become major stuff that we got to focus on because that's where the news is.
From day one, when he first, as they say, started down the elevator, it was all about distraction. His distraction at the time was talking about those people crossing the border, those Mexicans. You know, it's
demonizing them.
Demonize, you know, and that was just a small portion of the stuff that he was demonizing. And the sad part about that was the numbers of citizens that bought into it. You know, they thought.
Listen, he played on our biases and hates.
Yes.
And fears. See, and fears. You know, they got some of them scared of him, then some of them scared of us.
Yep.
You know? I mean, I said, ooh, man. He not only has he been able to make bullying okay, he got a bunch of folks with him now that want to be bullies. They even bullying the community. They telling you, it's going to be a bloodbath if I don't win. Buddy, it's going to be a bloodbath if you win.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Who that kind of talk don't scare nobody. What it does, it aggravates people.
Yes.
It got people on the wrong stuff. They got people that want the violence to come on just like he's talking about it because they tired of hearing it. You're going to stop threatening me. Because when you tell what he says, he's trying to make people scared to vote.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what he's trying to tell you. He will tell you better not vote. If I don't win, because listen, if you vote, he don't win.
Yeah.
That's just the truth. If you vote, he don't win. And you got him telling you that, and you gonna go for that. See, that's what got me baffled on it. It got me messed up, man.
It's how people are so willing to buy into the threats of a bully, and that's what he is. Yeah, he's a bully.
And he done woke up a bunch of little bullies to come run behind him. They gonna dress like him and talk about his crime. The judicial system ain't right because they at him. But other folks going through the system, he ain't said nothing about them. It ain't right for them.
Right.
You know, they got, listen, you got over 1 million people incarcerated in this country under the same system that he is talking about. And every one of them said the same thing. But they didn't get the response from the establishment that he's getting.
Yeah, he's getting, yeah.
And that bothers me. That's the part that bothers me. You know, the media is giving him all of this attention. We know that we need to keep our eyes on him, but what about the rest of the news?
Yep.
You know, why can't he focus on what happened in Maryland when they tore that barge down? They tore it down, right? Through no fault of nobody but the ship navigator.
Right.
They thought this, and that's a major economic pathway into this country.
Yeah.
They didn't even advertise that the port is already open again.
Yes.
I mean, what kind of work is that? They just, I mean, that when I saw that, I said, 11 weeks, and this boy done got that. Why they ain't telling folks all that good news? That's what messed with me, Tony.
Yeah.
They telling folks they got. Is that me?
No. But they're telling people, they're using the benefits that the United States is able to do, like you said, open that port. They were initially talking about years and everything, and the port is now open and operating. And not only that, they're investigating what happened to that ship. You know, it's not just move the ship, and no, it's all about what can we do to prevent this from happening again.
And that's listen, man, that's almost miraculous.
Yes.
With the I'm talking the magnitude of what happened there. You know, that was a pathway for economics and people coming and going to work. And then you had these people that lost their lives out there.
Right. Yeah.
The media didn't focus on that. That should have been a daily. They should have been telling us every day how these people were working out there. You know, risking their lives again to get this stuff fixed, so that economics and the community wouldn't collapse. Businesses wouldn't collapse. Because that's all about business. That stuff is all about revenue.
Yes.
You know, all about jobs. Where people ain't getting paid for what they're worth every day. You know, we need to check these billionaires, like the Biden administration, they need to start paying their fair share.
Yep.
You know, that's the problem, and that's what Trump brings to the table.
That's it.
They know that he gonna keep them with not paying taxes.
Right.
You know, though. Trump paid less taxes than a school teacher.
Yeah. That's just, you know, that's literally unheard of. But the sad part about that is the party of Trump don't want to do anything about it.
Well, listen, I'm going to say this, Tony. I'm going to the other side of me now.
Okay.
The words say the Antichrist is in the world today. And what do the Antichrist look like? Chaos, confusion, and fear. He just come to steal, kill, and destroy.
Yep.
That's what we see coming out of this party now. They threatens and all kind of garbage, man. That he act like you really threatening people, man. With that kind of stuff, you not threatening folks that gonna run. You threatening folks that gonna get set up for you.
Yes.
He's so silly. He done exposed the clowns on the court. Excuse me, man. You know, excuse me, man. I don't want my grief to get out of place, but I don't want to say things that ain't true. You know, but he did expose these folks. These folks coming out on the court now. We wouldn't have never probably looked at Clarence Thomas so close if his wife wasn't part of that.
Yes, exactly. And so,
and then Alito come up next. He got his old lady flying a flag that's
upside down. Basic knowledge. That's not something that, you know, or it could have been an accident. No, that was intentional. It is a known fact. It is a part of the history of this country.
And I'm gonna tell you what, he acting like a gang leader too.
Yeah.
Like a gang leader. His little gang running behind him talking about there and this. Bro, man. Listen, if I was in charge, y'all better be glad. Wake up every day and say, Elsa McGee ain't in charge. I would bust y'all butt and put you all behind bars where you need to be. Because you are threatening judges and prosecutors.
Yes.
You causing your clowns, these people that you can manipulate to do your dirty work, man. And it's pathetic. They're pathetics. You know, they're pathetic to allow somebody to manipulate them like that. But and then they're talking about now you're gonna pardon them, and they didn't want to overlook the fact that somebody died. People died.
Yes, yes. People died. People are suffering. They were having traumatic experiences in their lives as a result of it. It's not something that just happened on January the 6th. Those people that were involved are still suffering from the effects of that event.
Yeah. And they acting like it ain't, they were some kind of peaceful protesters.
Yeah.
Come on, you're not going to rewrite history. You're not going to change what I saw.
You know, you aren't going to change what everybody in the country saw. You know, they were peaceful protesters. No, they were destroying our capital.
And why he wanted to let them know that he gonna pardon them if he get to be president? Because he want them out to do that dirty work. See, think about some of the abortion laws in the states where you got vigilante creations with the law. The big people that ain't got nothing to do with your choice, if they done empower them to be vigilantes.
Yeah.
I said, man, they creating laws that divide us. And you know, Tony, let me say this here. Because most people, most of us, don't believe in abortions. You know, you know, I think that's a decision between, first of all, the woman and God.
Exactly.
And her doctor and her family. But it's her choice. See, if you get laws that start taking away that choice, those laws are operating over God's giving people choice. He gave us individual choice. He gave us so much choice, Tony, we could reject him.
Yes. And that, you know, in the religious community, that's major.
That's major.
But those are the freedoms that you have being a human being.
Yes.
You know, and God knowing that with those choices, you know, you get a certain amount of rationale. You know, you go like, yeah, I have these choices, but I'm not going to use these choices that aren't going to benefit mankind. You know?
And see, that's why he gave us choice.
Yes.
You know, because he gave us a sense of right and wrong. He just wanted to make sure we choose that way.
Yes. And in some situations, we became aware of the fact that wasn't a very good choice. And now you have the opportunity to reverse that choice.
Repent.
Repent.
We call it repent.
Thank you. Yes.
My mama used to say, repent, son. And we're praying like a preacher. You know? But you know what? It worked, Tony.
Yeah.
So I became a living witness to the power of redemption. All you got to do is repent, turn away from that mess, and buddy, he will empower you to do things way beyond the stupidity that you had got caught up in. I got caught up in stupidity.
You weren't alone.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You were not alone.
Tony, what I think that happened to me, and happened to everybody that's redeemed, you know, the redeemed, you know, well, God gives you his power, his anointing to do his service, to be his arms and legs in the community. You know, I mean, that's the redeemed. I often compare myself to Paul. You know, Paul was going to, well, he didn't kill Christians. He wasn't just a prosecutor of Christians. He was an assassin. But he believed what he was doing was right, even though it was twisted. Well, God broke him down in a minute. In a hot minute, he went at him like, but man, bust his horse. I don't know how. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how hard did he fall when he come off that horse, man. He had to be throwed blind. He throwed him blind, man. He throwed him so hard he was blind. And came out, you know, well, buddy, I'm going to send you right in there where them people that you was persecuting, you're going to let depend on them now. I'm going to make you at their mercy. At their mercy. And that's what he does with you if he got you targeted for something and you just resisted. You remember Jonas was told to go somewhere and he didn't want to go. He felt like, man, I ain't thinking about it, man. I mean, he got on a ship, and you know what? He shook up the ship so bad. Jonathan would tell him, listen, I did the wrong thing. Y'all need to just throw me overboard. He thought he was committing suicide, man. He thought he was still getting away from God.
Not realizing.
Not realizing that God had a plan for him that he couldn't shake. And that's what I feel with my life. He had a plan for me I couldn't shake.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm so glad that he had a plan because I didn't have that. Lord, I was lost. You know what you're talking about. You know what lost mean? See, I know what lost mean, Tony. You know, I know how lost I was. And without him, without his grace, his mercy, and forgiveness, right? And that's something that we gonna have to learn as a people.
Yes.
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
Yeah. We got to be able to forgive. You know, we want to be forgiven. We got to learn to forgive. And that's what Dr. King was saying. And I love Dr. King, but I knew within my own self, Tony, I wasn't nonviolent. I knew I wasn't nonviolent, so I had to go in the military. I felt like I'm going in there to make a difference, but I know I couldn't stand up against no dog and not kill the dog. I know I wasn't gonna be able to do that. I know I wasn't gonna be able to just let nobody water hose me down and not come back and do something to them.
Yeah.
And so God put me and you and everybody where we need to be, and He's gonna be in charge of that no matter what we do. No matter what we do, once we yield, He breaks us down. Paul wrote most of the New Testament. I mean, after he broke him down, man, he got up. When he got up, man, he realized that, bruh, I'm doing something against somebody more powerful than anything I ever met. But let me serve that. Let me do that.
Yeah.
So we got to be able to. People got to be able to understand. We're overcomers by nature.
Oh yes.
We're overcomers by nature, man. And with my overcoming, it just made me look at how remarkable black peoples are. Because no other demographic on planet Earth have come from such a deep hole in such a short period of time than our folks. Because now we in our 70s, man. We just, but the truth is, when we was growing up, we didn't have no way of seeing how big Atlanta and how great this city would be. We had no way of actually seeing that, but God knew. We'll be sitting here today talking about things that matter to our communities. I ain't never saw myself like that, man. Just
we never. I won't say we. I never imagined a city growing up that would be almost totally black in the administration of the city. That was just unheard of.
You couldn't even visualize that.
No, because that wasn't something that we grew up seeing.
No.
What
we grew up seeing.
Yeah, right, yeah. There were glimmers. There were glimmers every once in a while, but the stuff that we grew up seeing and lived through, we literally lived through. And there were probably generations. There are the generation that did not survive the kind of pressure, the pressure that we went through. They couldn't handle. Because they had no way out. That was one of we were seeing glimmers of our community, meaning the black community, having opportunities to step forward. They didn't see that. That wasn't an option. And so as a result, those of us who saw it and saw little cracks that they were able to get in and say, I can run this better than they are. They can, that they are doing.
Yeah.
And
air traffic controller. How many did you know in your family before you became one?
When I became an air traffic controller,
there wasn't nobody in your family.
There was nobody. In fact, I didn't even know what an air traffic controller was. I thought an air traffic controller was a guy standing on the ramp, parking airplanes, not knowing. But the thing about that, there were only 25 African American air traffic controllers in the entire United States when I became a controller.
Yeah.
And that was, and we had no idea. I had no idea that job existed.
Yeah.
I had no idea what they were doing.
Listen, man. Yeah. We got a responsibility to do what we're doing. Those who have been given much much is required of
Yes.
them.
Yeah.
You know, I sometimes I don't feel like doing it, right? I mean, I just don't feel like doing it because all the stuff in the world. But then I know that I should not be discouraged by all these things because I know some power that's greater than all of this.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
you know, Tony, I'm gonna tell you something that I rely on sometimes when I think about you and other brothers that stand up, man, in our community. I look at your faith, what kind of powerful faith
Yes.
that you got, and it just encourages me because the words was saying this: the Lord our God, our Savior, Jesus Christ said this in dealing with a centurion, which is a soldier. He said, "No greater faith have I seen in all of Israel than this." And I think about that when I think about the Sons of Atlanta. I want everybody to go to the website, sonsofatlanta.org, sonsofatlanta.org. We gonna have the caps. We coming up with some T-shirts because what Michael Bond, our point man, has told me. The city of Atlanta have selected a vendor to build a memorial. So we're gonna be in Piedmont Park in a way that we've never been in Piedmont Park before. Looking like a flower garden. All these 9 cities together. All these communities of different racial divides together. On one accord. On one accord. To set this memorial up to honor these that our peers, you know, that couldn't be here today because they have made the sacrifice before they was 21, Tony.
Yes. Yes.
They made that sacrifice so that we could have all of this stuff that we got now. So we're gonna honor them, but we're not just gonna honor them in the park. We're gonna go in their communities.
Yes.
We're gonna go in their libraries and community centers with an army of volunteers to straighten out all of the ills of the community, because we are better together. You know, we're not gonna get caught up in the toxic politics because we ain't the toxic politics that they got going on today. You know, I believe it's the spirit of the Antichrist. If that's the case, God got us.
Yes.
That's what I got.
Yeah.
God got us. You know, I ain't worried about the rest of it because, you know, the hand of the Almighty is with us.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You said that all the time, though, Tony. You know, you said it was anointed.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
ordained.
You know, it was a thought in your mind, and that thought was so powerful and so far-reaching that it had to happen.
Yeah, it had to
And
happen.
so, you know, you're being a man of God, you know, even influences that. And so as a result, it just had to happen.
Yeah.
You know, the universe saw the good that was going to come from this and said, this is something good, it shall be.
It shall
and now we're watching it happen.
We're watching it happen.
But it's hard to be patient.
Yeah.
I want it yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep working, but I wanted it yesterday. You know.
Yeah.
But I can see that tomorrow is a lot closer than what it was a couple of years ago.
Listen, they saying that they done got a vendor.
Yeah.
My issue is that vendor need to be talking with us because we got this commemorative brick thing that he need to know about.
Yeah.
Listen, we ain't out of it. They got to understand we ain't out of it because we in it.
Yeah.
And we got the whole city in it too, Tony. And that's the exciting part about it because, like you said, we done start reaching out into the community now, touching people with our message, with the call to unity.
Yeah.
You know, we call into unity for a reason, and we're calling to unity because we all made this pledge.
Yes.
You know, and our families have always supported the pledge. We got to remind them of this in the midst of these Antichrist spirit taking over. You know, don't get caught up in that. You know, you ain't got to get caught up in that. You got choice and you got willpower. Yeah. You know, if you if you ain't got that willpower, God got something in you.
Oh yeah.
That got your back.
Yep.
Got you. He got you. His power is in you. I always believe that sometimes, Tony, when I've been going through pain like I'm going through now.
Right now, yeah.
I know God got me. You know, I had to realize that. I had to reach back for that because some of the pain,
Yeah.
you know, I say to my nieces and my nephews and my sister's children today, you know, I tell them all, I said, I was there, her brother, before she was your mama. So I had 77 years of love and devotion for my sister.
Yeah.
But that don't make my pain any less than y'all pain. So we coming together as a family, first of all, to encourage each other, each other. And then we're going to celebrate her life.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to celebrate her life because she's a part of history that we talking about. You know, you talk about your sister. They were part of our history, Tony. When we got ready to go in the military, they gave us a party. I never forget it, man. You know, this when I came home from the military, they gave me a party.
Yes.
You know, they gave me one to encourage me going, and they gave me one that, you know, to welcome me back home.
Welcome me back and show you how proud they were of our service.
Of our service, man. So you think I'm going to forget that?
We were proud. I was proud of my service. I was proud of our service.
Yeah,
you know?
Because, Tony, what happened, we had been through some stuff we ain't never experienced before and did it.
Yes.
See, that's what makes it, you can look back over the experience and say, I did it. You know, I did it with the grace of God.
Yeah, definitely through the grace of God.
With the grace of God.
Yes.
Sometimes I think people outside of our faith get to thinking too much of themselves.
Yeah.
You know, they forget that they belong to God. They, you know, and that it's an individual thing. You know, we got to have that individual relationship with God. Even though we go to church and we're all in the body of Christ, we got to be encouraged of each other. But we have to encourage ourselves sometimes by especially when it's hurt, when you're going through hurt and pain and difficulties. You just got to believe the word. Trust the word, and you'll find some strength that you ain't thought you had before. Because I didn't, when I first thought about today, Tony, I text you. I didn't feel like it. You know, I really didn't feel like it. I started to go up to Kenny House, right? Then I was confused, man. I just pain make you confused sometimes when you think about losing a sibling. You know, it's a parent, a sibling, and a child, you know, that cause more pain that you deal with, you know, even though you know that they belong to God, too.
Right.
But, you know what, God was so unselfish to give me my sister for 77 years. So, you know, he just took her back. She ain't going nowhere. You know, she ain't going nowhere. And I got to keep remembering that. And we got to keep remembering, Tony, what we doing here every time we get a chance to do it. It's not for us, and God is making it possible for us to do it. And having fun at it, man. Because I feel better than when you saw me in the parking lot. I thought I was gonna be a drag on you today. You know, I'm gonna just tell the truth, man. I was so. Then I went over, took some water and stuff over to my nieces, you know, and spent some time with her husband because he's a veteran. And then my sister got a son that's a veteran. One of her sons a veteran. I've been on the phone with him all morning. He out-talked me, Tony. You know,
really?
He's a talker, man. But you know, it's when you can talk with your family and you know, be with your family. And you know, remember your loved ones the way they would want you to remember. You know, they went through life and they grieved the loss before them. So it's okay to grieve. You know, it's okay to grieve, but don't let grief overpower you. You know, don't let it overpower you. And that it sometimes it feel like it's overpowering, but you know, you got to remember the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh.
Right.
You know, it belongs to the Lord. And she had a remarkable life, Tony. You know, I mean, growing up with her was just absolute great. And she had four children, all of them college degrees, 2 doctors. One of them got a doctorate in education, and Eden is a doctor, chemist. You know, so she had a full. She did her duty, her service, and glorified God. So. Tony, finish you up because that Joe looking at me because I'm talking too much. Man.
No, you're not talking too much. It's all about it. But we want to encourage everyone in sound of our voice, to support the Sons of Atlanta Vietnam Memorial And remember, every Saturday from 4 to 5, we're here on Status Network. Thank you. A tongue before my eyes. So support us, support the memorial, and we'll be back here next Sunday talking about the same things, the plight of veterans in the United States, with the plight of veterans. Until next week, we'll see you.
Peace. Yeah.